Now, whenever you've heard someone talk about ukiweka tiles kwa bafu utaanguka, that was probably because of an incident somewhere with porcelain tiles. Sorry to keep you waiting, guys, and welcome to the Banda Minute, where today we're discussing flooring solutions. Now, what type of floor really suits your needs? Whether you're looking at the cost aspect of the installation, you're looking at the quality of the install, the aesthetic value of the install, or even the durability of the install. That is what we'll be discussing on today's Banda Minute. Karibuni sana. Now, at the onset of construction, and if many of us go up country and be honest with ourselves, we had the traditional flooring solution, which was basically cement plaster, which was usually treated with red oxide just to give it a nice fancy look, and that was what was used. Now, people have since moved on, of course, as industry trends have changed, and people have become more adept and more understanding of what happens with floors. Now, the advantage of the traditional red oxide plaster solution was that it was, of course, very cheap, and it meant that the house could be finished very quickly and people could move in. The disadvantage, however, on the flip side, was the fact that this flooring solution tended to be really cold, which really put a lot of us at loggerheads with our folks when we went up country, because in the cities we were taught to always remove our shoes before we went into the house. But on this end, it was so cold that you couldn't actually keep your shoes off and you had to wear them. The second option of flooring, which was also very common in the recent past, was the vinyl tiling solution. Now, those of you who grew up in Nairobi's premier estates in the 80s and 90s remember a very thin tile that was basically glued to the floor. Now, the vinyl solution was quick to install. It was also very aesthetic for its time. However, it did come with a certain disadvantage. One, it was very, very susceptible to peeling when either it got hot or it got really cold. And secondly, overexposure to water also tended to make it peel. Over time as well, these tiles would get scratched by the furniture, and then they would lose that luster that they had, making the room look old. Now, the third solution that we'll be discussing today is ceramic tiles. Now, ceramic tiles are where about 80% of the populace find themselves whenever they're thinking about a flooring solution. Now, ceramic tiles are loved for a couple of reasons. One, they're very versatile. Secondly, they tend to last a long time, especially if installed correctly. And third, the overall finish of the house is always clean and very, very good looking. Now, ceramic tiles have over time, of course, also changed. We've moved from the traditional ones, which are just monocolored, to now very, very textured and beautiful designs. Now, the solution we'll be discussing today is laminate flooring. Now, laminate flooring has really made a big surge into the market in the recent years. The reason being, while being very cost effective, it is also quite good looking and tends to be quite warm when put in the floors. Now, the issues with laminate flooring, of course, have not yet been tested through time, but the issue with laminate flooring is this. The entire laminate panel would need to be replaced in the event of damage. That means you would need to basically uplift a very big section of the room in order to replace it to maintain the seamless design finish. Secondly, in the event of water seepage, that would mean that the entire laminate floor would need to be lifted, the floor treated before it was replaced. So these are just some of the new challenges that people are facing with laminate flooring. Is it a good material? Yes, it is. With quality workmanship and quality installation, laminate flooring can last you a long time. It gives you the advantage, of course, of looking very, very similar to a timber floor finish. Okay? Now, the fourth solution we'll be talking about is where about 80% of the market finds themselves, and that is your traditional ceramic tile. Now, that is available in a range of sizes, from square, rectangular, to actually very long strips, to the new trends which you're seeing, which is basically very, very small tiles that are brought together with a patch sticker. Now, ceramic tiles have shown their versatility over time, from hospitals of old to modern monuments of today, structures that will last the test of time. Ceramic tiles are both versatile in terms of aging, they are a great finish, and especially if the workmanship is done really well, they can last a long time, longer or just as long as the main structure itself. Now, ceramic tiles do also have a slight disadvantage. Traditionally, we don't know yet whether this is true or false, but there is always this idea that tiles are cold. Where it came from, we don't know. But there is this idea that tiles will make your house cold. Whether it's true, I really don't think so. But tiles have proven themselves very versatile. The good thing also with ceramic tiles is in the event of damage, a couple of tiles or the tile that is damaged can be lifted out of the floor and replaced with an exact copy of the same, meaning that the workmanship that will be required in the event of damage is quite reduced. And this is, I think, why ceramic tiles have shown themselves to be so versatile and so popular as a choice. Now next, after ceramic tiles, we do have a small niche. It's called porcelain tiles, because of the fact that they are basically designed the same as ceramic tiles, but they're heat treated more to give a more glassy finish. Now, whenever you've heard someone talk about ukiweka tiles kwa bafu utaanguka, that was probably because of an incident somewhere with porcelain tiles. Porcelain tiles are magnificent. They are quite beautiful. Some of the textured designs that we can get are modern masterpieces. And for that reason, they do tend to come at a slightly higher cost than, of course, their counterpart ceramic tiles. Now, porcelain tiles, as I've said, are quite beautiful, but they do come with a flip side. And that is when they are wet, they are extremely slippery, thanks to the near glass finish. Now, with a good install and with proper advice from your developer on where you can place porcelain tiles, especially for the common areas where a lot of your guests will be and the places in the house where you'll spend a lot of time, they are a perfect solution for that. And for the bathrooms, let's stick to a tiling solution that has anti-slip properties, which will ensure that your bathroom is just as safe and magnificent as the rest of your home. Moving on from porcelain tiles, we now enter the niche of high-end floor finishes. And this is where wood parquets come in. Now, wood has an air of high-end, wealthy, rich to it. The fact that it's a natural flooring solution means that once well finished and varnished, the floor tends to remain quite warm, because wood is not a good conductor of either heat or cold. Okay, so you find yourself with a very exquisite looking floor that really tends to blend in with the rest of the house, especially if you have some very nice rustic furniture in there. Now, wood, of course, being a natural product, will require a lot more care over the tenure of the floor. Okay, this will mean that it will require a lot of specialist care when it comes to cleaning, not to have it become too wet, and to do maintenance. Immediately we start to see any of the parquets lift up off the floor. However, that being said, wood still remains the most popular high-end floor finish for many a home here in Nairobi. Finally, we come to an emerging trend that is starting to gain popularity amongst homeowners. Now, this is a solution that offices have used since time immemorial, and that is, of course, carpet flooring. Now, carpet flooring has started to gain acceptance amongst homeowners as cleaning methods have improved over time. With the kind of cleaning solutions that we have today, it is now easier to have your entire home laid with carpet flooring, allows homeowners to integrate their interior design choices with the one place that they've always had a challenge with, and that is the floor. Another advantage that carpet flooring gives us is the fact that you can always change out the entire look of your house. For example, if you are doing a bright red like we have here at the office and chose, for example, to go for a darker color, a darker blue or a shade of gray, it's something that you could actually have done in a couple of days, because what the technicians will do is will just come in, peel off this carpet, scrub the floor, and then lay the new carpet all on top of it. Now, this does come with certain disadvantages. Like, for example, spillage is a big problem with carpeted floors, because you can't have water accidents or liquid accidents without having to incur a bit of cost when it comes to cleaning. One of the challenges that carpet flooring has always had since its inception is the fact that carpets tend to be quite flammable, and there's always a risk of fire. However, as trends continue to change, we're starting to see more and more carpets in the market that are actually flame resistant. So whatever your flooring solution needs are, those are the options that are readily available for you in this market. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the Banda Minute.